In this video, I'll be showing you how to transition to the new API connector menu that is now part of the Bubble editor. Now, if you followed my previous tutorial on how to connect or use APIs in mobile applications, you would have noticed that we had to go to the plugins here, install API connector, and then set up all of this, like the Pokemon API and the OpenAI API. But now, with the new update, you don't have to go through this route. You have it connected here on the menu for you. Now, the good thing is that this API connector here still uses the plugin that is installed, or is connected to the plugin. Either which way, they are basically the same thing. So if you create a new collection here, it appears here, and if you create one here, it appears in the other part. So I just want to show you how to transition between the two. They are very similar. So what we'll do is go back to the plugins that we have here, and I'll remind you how this is set up so that you see how the other one or the new one is arranged. I didn't have to do anything. I just opened up my editor, and the API connector was there with the whole data that was already here in the plugin. So first things you'll notice is the API name. So we have two APIs here. You would also remember that I told you to group your APIs depending on what, or maybe the vendor. So for example, this is Pokemon API, and all the endpoints inside of it are related to Pokemon. So like this one gets all the Pokemon, this one get the Pokemon details, they are all in the Pokemon. And the second one is OpenAI API, and inside of it we have two also. One of them creates image, the other one gets a response for us, like that. Just in case you don't know how this was set up, just check out my previous tutorial. I would also include it in the description of this video. It was all about using APIs in a bubble mobile application. So now that we have these two names, let's use that. So these are collections, basically collections of APIs or related APIs. So let's come down or come up here at the API connector menu here. I notice that here we have already, so I mistakenly added this one, so let me get it off. All right, so you notice that here already we have two of those API that we have arranged there. So one of them is the API Pokemon API, the other is the OpenAI API, like that. And each of them have inside of them two of the APIs API endpoints that we use. So if you come back here and check out this and drop it down, we see them. Both of them are GET requests for the Pokemon, and both of these for the OpenAI are both POST requests. All right. To show you that they are connected, we can add a new collection and see it reflect on the other one. So we can just create a new collection. Let's leave that new collection. Come down to the bubble plugin here, collapse these first two, and notice that we have a third collection now, showing that these two are well connected. All right. Now, if you go back to this API connector, something you would first notice is there are no shared headers on first glance. So there are headers for individual APIs. So for example, this is for the getting all Pokemons. We have the header here, which is empty. Of course, it was empty in the other tutorial we did. And if you go to the second one, which is getting the Pokemon details, we have just parameters that were added, which is just the Pokemon name, but aside from that, the headers is empty. So how do you pass in headers? Of course, you could just click here and pass headers individually to this endpoint. But you recall that in that tutorial, I talked about having shared headers so that you don't have to repeat the same credential over and over again. But we talked about that inside of the OpenAI API. We can get rid of this collection. So new collection, so let's get rid of it. So let's come back here at the OpenAI API. So when you come to the posts, the first post request here, which is create image, and you scroll down, you notice that there is no header. But we also know that from our OpenAI documentation, you need at least an authorization which will be implemented using the OpenAI API key. So where is that key? Like we said, we could come down here and click on add header to put a key value pair, and so we'll put our authorization, bearer token, and then all of that. But we'll delete this because that's not how we set it up from the beginning. You could also check the second one. Same thing for this one, which is to create a response. Same thing, there's no header. So where do we put in this header? So because there are shared headers and both of them can use it, we put it in one place. So what you need to do is come to this top and click at this drop down at the top here. So once you click the drop down, you now see the shared headers that they have. So everything just as it is in this other place. So when we go back here and go to the API connector and come down to OpenAI API, expand this, and then come up here, you notice that we have the shared headers. One of them is the authorization, and it has one for the private key, which is for life, and this is for development key, which is when we are selling development. Now if you come back here, you notice that we have those private key and the developer key, and the other thing we have is the other shared header, which is the content type application JSON, which is the same thing we have here, right? Now aside from this, the other things we have, which is really cool in my opinion, is when you drop down this image, let's expand rather, and come down here, you notice that after initializing something, you can't see the details. All right, now let's go back here and go down to the create image and scroll a bit downward. So let's just scroll a bit downward. Okay, great. Down here, you notice that we have what we have initialized down here. So we have the data list and the URL, which is something you would not see in the other one. In fact, it has been grouped properly, so that I'll have the one that is parsed like this, or the raw one whereby you can just see the whole details like this. So this is one of the advantages I love with this one compared to the other one. You can choose to re-initialize like that. So let me move this away and see for the second one, which is create response. So when you come down here, we are in the raw, and so you can see all the informations that was showed here. So you can of course make changes to this just for security purpose, or you can check out the past one here, which gives you all the details of the results of this API call in a more interactive form for people that don't really understand how JSONs work. All right, so this is how you can easily transition from the former bubble API connector using plugin to the now editor based API connector, right? So you could try to test this out anyhow you want. So if you don't know how to implement maybe an API call, please check out my previous tutorial. But even from what we've done today, you should be able to see how this is done. All right. So let's see if we can do an example. So for people who have probably not used APIs before, let's check it out. All right. So let's use the OpenAI API too. This time around, we want to do text to speech. So we want to pass in a text and retrieve speech from it. All right. So just in case you feel like some things are not very clear, check out my previous tutorial where I clarify everything and I broke it down to the barest minimum. So we'll just make this to demonstrate how the new API set up by Bubble works for us. So copy the call here like this, and under the OpenAI API collections, we want to add a new call down here, and then inside of this, just to be sure that everything works as it should. All right, so we'll just add a new one, and inside of this we want to import call, so which is a bit different from how you would have done it in the other one, but either way this should work. So we click on this import call and paste down the call that we want here. All right, importing call will overwrite any existing information in. So let me be sure I am not overwriting something that we've set up before. So give me a minute. So we'll click on this, and we get a new API call here under this collection. And what we want to do here is import call. So we just click on import call and then paste the call that we have just copied. So let me make sure I copy that. So this is for creating speech. So paste it. All right, so everything has been copied. So we import and overwrite. This is the new API call draft. So we do that. So immediately we do it, it set up all the calls for us. Now, usually we would set up this content type and set up the authorization. But recall that we have already done the setup here at the very top. So because it's a shared header, we'll just get rid of these two because we already have them at the top there. We also have this name here, and so all we need to do here is give it a name. So we are doing text to speech like that, and that should work as we have said. All right, and once we have this, have the JSON set up, this could be a data or an action. In my previous tutorial, I also explained how this differs. So when it is an action, you can call it from when you're setting up the workflow, but when it's a data, you call it from when you are setting up your design there in the design section of the editor. Okay, so now that we have this set up, what we can do now is initialize this call. So let's initialize. Let's click on initialize, and it throws some sort of error for us. So let's check. It's telling us incorrect API key provided. Okay, so let's make sure we put in the right API key. So let me get my API key, and then let's continue. All right, I have updated my API key, and I wanted you to see an error I got. So let's try to initialize. So I've already initialized this before, but I want you to see the process so that you know the difference. So I tried to initialize this, and it's going to tell me that it's getting an API call, sorry, API result that is a non-object, even though I picked JSON. So the thing is, when you do this, it's expecting a file because you are supposed to get an audio file. So you need to change this to a file. So this data type should be a type of file, and then you can now click on reinitialize, and then it should be done properly. So now instead of getting error, you now have a file, and it shows it 200 here, which means it's okay. You can choose to play this file. So let's play the
quick
file.
brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Great. So this is the text that we imputed here, and this was what changed into that voice that we have now. Because we want to be able to impute this dynamically, you can choose to change this and call this input like this. So input, and immediately you should have a key value pair here, and this should not be private, and that is it. You are done setting up the API call. So you see, this is exactly how you would have done it also, even if we are using the regular bubble here. So let's open this, let's expand this, and so now you should have 3, which is text to speech. All right, so the next thing you can now do is translate this into whatsoever you choose to. Maybe you have an input, and then you choose to pass the audio file, something like that. Let's see how that works out for us. Okay, so let's go back to our design and come down to our page here to AI chat. And so this time around, we're adding one more button here. So we'll just add a third button. So let me bring this down. Now in this third button, we want to say something like get audio, like that. And so what we want to do here, let's make sure we change this to an action in case we didn't do that. So we want to use this as an action. All right, so let's go back here, and here we say workflow. So what do we want to do? We want to call that particular API. So we can use the API connection here. So usually we will have used plugins, but since we've moved to API connections, we've moved it down here. And so we have here the text to speech one. So click on text to speech, and so the input here would be the input search, the value. Let's make sure it's trimmed, by the way. So if you come back to our page here, we have this input here, which we had from last time. So we're just passing that into what we have here, and then we want this to show up as a text here in the feedback here. All right, so we just make it replace what we have here, so that you see what's going on. So let's go back here, and let's say display data. So if you come back to where we get response here, we did something like that. So we did display data in group text, and so we just passed down what we had from the response we got. So that's similarly what we want to do here. So when you come here, display data in group text, so we have group text here, and so what we want is results of this. All right, and we can just say, let's say the URL, something like that. So you can just now copy the URL and check it out, or you can pass it down to an audio file, audio plugin rather. All right, so let's give that a shot. So we want to check what we've done out. Can close this off. So that's loading up gradually. Okay, so it's done, and so we can choose to pass in a bunch of text, something like that. So let's just get a bunch of texts from somewhere. Okay, so let's just copy this first one. That should be fine. just in a bunch of text. So we paste it in and we say get audio. So something like that. So let's wait for a response. So something I did wrong is not passing that through as a JSON. So let's go back here and let's go to edit workflow. And so inside of here, we need to make sure that this is JSON safe. So let's make sure it's JSON safe. And so let's try this again. So let's close this too. Let's try that again. All right, paste it in and get that audio. So let's wait for a feedback. So it gives us a URL that we can check out. The URL is a bit broken, but this is the URL we will have used. All right. So what we'll do now is to get an audio plugin which we've used before. If you come down to the details part here, Pokemon details, we've used something like that. So let's get that. So here is it. So this MA audio. So we've installed it in our previous tutorial. So let's just copy that like that, and then we can choose to go and paste it here in the AI chat, or you could choose to just come here and look for audio. You see MA audio and drag it in like this. All right. So this was for image. This is for audio now, like that. And then here we can now pass down the text. So recall that we had this group text that was populated here. So we could just come here and say parents group text like that. So let's give it a shot, another shot. Okay. So we can close this off and check it out again. We'll paste this in like this and say get audio. So it's loading up the audio, and so let's play.
The original words and form of a written or printed work. 2. An edited or amended copy of an original work.
So that's how you do that. So we've been able to see how we can transition gradually from the old Bubble plugin API connector to the Bubble API connector now included in the editor. In fact, we were able to demonstrate using the OpenAI Text-to-Speech API as we showed it up from here. So that exists for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.